Okay, let's do this thing. What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Against All Odds review for Impact, TNA, whatever. But yes, I have not really done any Impact Wrestling reviews in the past few weeks due to my, well, I guess I say health was not doing good right now, and I was pretty sick, so I could have reviewed last Thursday's show, but then again, Friday was a live show for Against All Odds, an Impact Plus show, which I'm kind of iffy on at the same time. It wasn't a bad show per se, but I feel like some of the stuff on this show, I feel like I've already seen, and I don't think I really need to see it again. Don't get me wrong, it had some highlights and everything, and I'll get to what was, I feel like, the best match out of the entire night. But obviously, you know, there's a lot of things that changed and whatnot. Like I said, the Plus shows, I'm just iffy on sometimes. You know, different from their pay-per-view show. Sometimes the Plus shows have gotten better. Before, I've said in the past that the Plus shows felt kind of pointless and had really nothing to do with shows. We're just trying to jump onto somebody else's show and add people from different companies. But they've at least tried to incorporate the storylines into the Plus shows now to actually go on to somewhere. I didn't really watch much of the pre-show. I know Myers defeated Rich Swann for that, you know, digital media title. I don't really think it means much, and I don't know how many times I can say Rich Swann has fallen from grace at this point, so I just know he lost the title, and I know Cardona's hurt right now, so that's why they got Myers filling in for him for the time being. Next, Bullet Club, Ace Austin and Chris Bay went against the Motor City Machine Guns and whatnot. Good opening match, very good. I really enjoyed it. I'll say this right now. I know I didn't review last Thursday's show, but I thought Saban and Kazarian put on a hell of a match on Thursday's show, and I thought this was a very good tag team match between the Guns and the Bullet Club out here. It ended up with Chris Bay taking the pin after, you know, Motor City Machine Guns did a double team finisher on him and whatnot. Like I said, very good match, good opener. I figured Chris Bay was going to take the win, take the fall, given you know, he's been the fall guy of the Bullet Club lately. Ace, I still think it was unnecessary for Ace Austin to join Bullet Club. Especially had him join, then he had the X Division title, then the minute he comes back at Slammiversary, he loses the title. Maybe he's going to somewhere else, you know, moved on to something better, maybe up into the, I don't know, world title, maybe. I don't know. But kind of odd that he just joins Bullet Club and loses the X Division title then. Next, they had Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green, who are a team now, I'm assuming. So I think they got different music going against Mia Yim and Mickie James, almost with their own kind of mash-up entrance of both themes and whatnot, which was pretty cool. A good tag match, though, very enjoyable. Ended up with Deonna and Chelsea getting the win. They ended up hitting like a, double team net breaker onto Mickie James to pin her. I really expect Mickie to take the pin right here, but Chelsea ended up getting the win. So Deonna and Chelsea is a team right now. It's a very interesting idea. It's not bad. Maybe they can put them into like the tag division for the titles, because it's not like there's a lot of tag teams right now in the Knockouts tag team division, especially for the titles right now. So it could be an interesting team with both Deonna and Chelsea Green out there. Next, the X Division titles on the line with Trey Miguel and Mike Bailey. I said a few weeks ago, and I don't know if I did, they put on a hell of a match a couple weeks ago on the show, and I think this was probably the best match out of the entire night. I really enjoyed this. I didn't really think Trey Miguel was going to win it back anyways, the title, given that Mike Bailey just won it not that long ago, Slammiversary. But there was some times where I thought he was going to get the win and whatnot. Mike Bailey ended up getting the win with the Flamingo driver out there onto Trey for the win. I enjoyed this match, okay? I really did enjoy this match out there. So I thought this was probably one of the best things out of the night. It was kind of pretty tough to follow after all. So that really got the crowd hyped up. That was, like I said, best match of the night. Next, Tenille Dashwood and Giselle Shaw went against Taya Valkyrie and Rosemary. Given that Matt Serene is hurt, I guess, with her nose, she got this thing on her nose now to cover. She's hurt for the time being, so Giselle Shaw is now the replacement, I guess. They now part of the team since they beat them up last Thursday on Impact. The match was okay. I didn't really think Taya and Rosemary losing the titles, given that they just won them not that long ago, and the crowd was pretty over with them. Whatever that spinning move to Giselle Shaw did on a Rosemary hit Rosemary's knees, but she damn near missed the whole fucking move out there. Looked really bad. Ended up with Ty again, a roll up onto Tenille for the win to still retain the titles. Next, you know, the Influence. I guess Giselle Shaw's in the Influence now. They end up jumping both the champions, beating them up. But then Masha Slamovich came out there and had an envelope and gave it to Tenille. Basically, she's the next target and whatnot. It was going to be Giselle because they had a target name for her, but I guess not. So I guess Tenille's now next in line for Masha Slamovich's hit list. Next, Honor No More, which once again they're in another multi-man tag match, which Eddie and them looked like they were going to kick out PCO, but Vincent still vouched for him. They went against the Good Brothers, since the Briscoes are apparently hurt right now. I guess, you know, since they were taken out on Impact, well, one of them was America's Most Wanted, since they let Chris Harris back in there, which honestly, I thought it was kind of odd. I know they said Chris Harris couldn't really do anything right now, but Honor No More never really attacked them and stuff. Because I'm like, do I really want to see Braden Walker in this match? Because I don't really think he could still go in that at this point. And Heath, who just came back. Honestly, it's a tag match, which we literally saw not that long ago with the whole Slammiversary match. And Honor No More, I feel like they don't get a lot of wins as it is anyways. The match, you know, it had its parts out there, but I actually thought maybe Chris Harris, it would have been a swerve if he may have turned, or he was going to take the fall from here, but it was Honor No More kind of pissed off with PCO. PCO, which Kenny King told him to go to the top rope and do the PCO, so basically just jumped onto everybody, which he basically missed everybody while jumping and just hit the damn apron and didn't let he hit anybody out there. Basically, right after James Storm hit his last call super kick, and they both, America's Most Wanted, hit their finish and won the match from there. So yeah, once again, Team Impact beats Honor No More. I don't know where Honor No More is going on at this point. Even with Eddie as the leader, they just tend to lose a lot. Maybe they're going to kick out PCO. I'm assuming they will. And we'll see what happens with that. But these guys lose way too many fucking times out here. And I thought even PCO just jumping off and landing almost basically nobody looked pretty dumb in my opinion. I actually thought Honor No More would actually be going over right here this time, given that they didn't even go over at Slammiversary. But no, I guess they wanted a feel-good moment for Chris Harris for some odd reason. Next, the Clockwork Orange match, or House of Fun Clockwork Orange match. Sami Callihan and Moose. Raven was there for commentary since Raven created this match. Listen, this was damn near similar to the Monsters Ball match at Slammiversary. It was brutal. You knew it was a lot of crazy stuff, from chain link fence and doors and barbed wire and glass and Legos, which they pulled out of 2 boxes. And I thought, Sami hitting like 2 cactus drivers onto the glass and the Legos looked barely brutal. It looked like it didn't really cut his head, but his arm had a lot of blood on it, I know that. Sami had his barbed wire baseball bat then, but next you know, I guess the cameraman got in a low blow. Sami, it would end up being Steve Macklin, who ended up taking the barbed wire baseball bat and hitting Sami Callihan with it. Moose ended up getting the win, so I want to see what they got Macklin doing here, because I don't know where Macklin... I don't know, man. Like, Macklin, I hope they get him out of the X Division. I think they moved on at this point. Macklin has a lot of potential, and I think they should be building him at least into the world title picture or somewhat in the upper card and whatnot. Maybe putting him against Sami will do something, because I'm like, okay, Moose wins. He gets his win back. He can move on from here, because I'm kind of done with the Moose and Sami thing. I think it should have just ended at Slammiversary at the Monsters Ball match. I don't think we need to see the Clockwork Orange match. Like, it's basically damn near similar to Monsters Ball in general, okay? It's literally the same match. So I didn't think this was needed again, okay? But Moose got the win, and now Macklin feuds with Sami, so we'll see what happens with that. Knockouts title on the line. Jordan Grace versus Tasha Steelz. Match wasn't bad or anything. That heard something. Like I said, the match wasn't bad or anything. I figured Jordan Grace was going to retain anyways, given that she just won the belt back. The finish looked very... Ooh, that was a rough finish. And hopefully Tasha Steelz's neck was okay, but it like Grace basically was trying to... She had her and then tried to like lift her up and go for her finisher, the Grace driver, but she landed literally on her fucking neck, okay? You could go back and look at the replays. That looked bad, and I don't know if they have to have doctors check Tasha Steelz. Hopefully she's okay, but that looked pretty rough to watch right there when Jordan Grace hit the Grace driver on the hurt end. So hopefully Tasha's okay, but that was pretty brutal. they end up announcing Emergence that's going to be next for the Impact Plus, which I'm kind of glad is coming to Chicago next. You know, haven't really been to an Impact show since Bound for Glory in 2019, and it's a little bit of closer distance to me. I may go, and there's be a television taping too, so we'll see what happens with that. So I'm going to decide on that right now. But in the main event, they had Josh Alexander versus Joe Doering for the Impact World title. You know, moving on to Joe Doering, which they have said he's been undefeated and all this stuff. And they had a video package of, you know, of his time in All Japan, because they talked about it, but I never knew what he really did over there. But he was this big name while being in All Japan Pro Wrestling. And they had a quick video package. I think it was kind of late on them showing it on last Thursday's show, because I'm like, okay, Joe Doering has not been pinned or submitted and whatnot, and they pretty much protected him. I don't know if it was a good idea by having him take the L right here. Come on, Josh was never going to lose the title right here, because they keep playing on that Eric Young is still missing, and they don't know when Eric Young may pop up, so he's still feuding with Violent by Design, but now he's ended up beating like the big man out of the group. So I wonder if Eric Young will show up on the next show, and that, given that now Josh has beat up his you know, beating his heavy in his team. So it wasn't a bad match. It was a solid match, but I never, come on, who really believed Josh Alexander was going to lose right here? He was going to retain the title nonetheless. I would have probably saved him and Joe Doering for a later date, maybe pay-per-view or something, than doing it on Impact Plus. Don't get me wrong, like, you know, I guess story-wise it makes sense, but I think with Doering, that's a guy you kind of protect, given that, you know, they had him like undefeated for a while, but he ends up taking the L on an Impact Plus show. So I'm not really sure that was the best idea, but yeah, you just knew Josh was going over. But Against All Odds wasn't a bad show per se. Like I said, it's a plus show. I think the best match on this whole thing was Miguel and Speedball, so I thought that was the best match. Did it really build into anything of a next show? In some ways it did, yes, with some of these things. I didn't really need to see Honor No More lose again to Team Impact. We just seen it Slammiversary, literally the same match in a multi-man, 10-man and all that stuff. So we didn't need to see that again. Like I said, some things interesting, like Deanna and Chelsea Green becoming a team. So there was a couple things that caught my eye on here that was pretty good. I thought Against All Odds wasn't a bad show, though, in general. So I did like it. It wasn't bad and stuff. So I want to see what happens going on into the, I guess, in the next set of things right now. And, you know, and like I said before, the Knockouts title match, the finish was very pretty rough. So, you know, I don't think it was reported that Tasha had to go to the hospital or anything, but that was still a rough looking spot, though, on Natasha's neck when you look at it again. So other than that, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. I'll see you guys then. I'm out of here. Peace.